Hello, my little squirrels. I would like to inform you that what you are about to listen to are our views and comments from the host. Guests only reflect their own view and not the community as a whole. Not all those squirrels out there, I mean. I hope you enjoy the podcast and Eddie play that banter section. Whoop whoop!
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Sammy. She already gone?
Yep.
Fuck.
Like, well, I arrived on time, now I'm leaving.
Sammy?
Are you muted, darling?
I might have been muted. I was coughing again and I muted my mic because people were moaning at me. I just shouted really loudly, I can see the red button, and no one heard me. And then I turned to my microphone and was like, oh.
Just for anyone listening, as someone who games regularly with Sammy, this is a regular occurrence. If
I don't know what you mean.
Every time she was muted and was just chatting away and thought everyone was ignoring her.
Okay, you're calling me out for this, but the amount of times you have also gone, oh, I was muted, I thought everyone was ignoring me.
I thought everyone was mad at me.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
The fuck? Hello everybody, this is the Ed Talks About podcast, a podcast series talking about cosplay, Comic-Con, and everything else. I'm your host Eddie, and this week we are bringing back the food and cosplay, the FnC Room 101.
Yay!
Joining us on the podcast is Emmy of EmmyCat555 and Sammy or Sammy Dodger Mines. Yeah, I was going to say miners. Don't know what I was going to say miners.
I could be a minor.
No. Oh God, it's already descending to mayhem. Oh jeez. Anyway, welcome to you both. Fuck.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having us.
Two very different responses there. Hi, thank you for having us. Oh yeah, I should have probably said that.
Well, one was moaning about there's a lack of webcam in this.
Well, yes, because I spent all this morning installing the drivers, doing my makeup, making myself look all pretty for you, Eddie, and then twirling my hair.
Did you ask or check it was a video podcast?
I mentioned the fact that I was setting up my drivers, and at any point during that Instagram chat, and can we just say to the audience what the name of the Instagram group chat is called?
Yeah, it is. It's called. Oh, I actually got to find it first. Hang on.
Well, dramatic.
The Banes of Eddie's life. Yes.
At any point, you could have said to me, "You know what, babe? Don't worry. You don't need a camera."
Excuse me. I work in IT. I want you to install your drivers correctly and update them correctly, regardless if it's in use or not.
So that I don't have to call you, and then you just Google what my problem is, and then take over my PC and.
Oh! Excuse me. I do not Google the answer. I ChatGPT it the answer.
Yeah, get it right.
Sorry. I apologize.
Seriously, half my day is actually just Googling answers, Googling ChatGPT it. If anyone found out, my job is like literally out the door. So yeah, just saying.
Oh yeah, for legal reasons, that was all a joke. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh, wink, wink.
Oh dear.
Fucking hell. Anyway, seriously, welcome both of you to the podcast. I forgot to ask Emmy this question. Well, to prep her this question, as Emmy's the first time on the podcast. I usually do the where do you come from? Where does your name come from? So, Emmy, EmmyCat555. Where did that come from? How did you come to be?
So half of it's really lazy. I'm going to be 100% honest. The other half is actually really sentimental. So my name is Emily. Really the most vanilla name you can kind of have out there, like proper white girl shit. But my dad always calls me Emmy. Like my nickname from him, like all my life has been Emmy. Like my dad means the world to me. So like, I kind of like other people calling me Emmy. like it's kind of a nod to him. And the cat and the numbers was because I started doing more cosplay and streaming during lockdown. I was one of those lockdown cosplayers. I've been cosplaying for over a decade, but I got like into a new relationship just before lockdown. I got like a lot more support for my cosplay because my previous relationship was like, no, don't put any attention on yourself, don't start streaming, don't put yourself out there. Like he really did not want me out there. So I really threw myself back into the cosplay world, and I was just seeing that people were doing like kitten and stuff like that after their name, and I was like, well, I like cats. So yeah, and then 555 is just my angel number because it's my favorite number. So it's so lazy. I wish there was a cooler reason behind it.
It's a good
Fair
series
enough.
of numbers.
Honest.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Sam, did we ever discover about your name?
I don't think we did. I think last time you asked me how I got started on what I do now, but I don't think we ever discussed my name.
Do you want to discuss your name now?
It's really boring, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I
'Cause
really like...
I see you literally in the shops every day, although it says Jammy Dodger.
Yeah, no, that's literally how I got the name. I really like Jammy Dodger biscuits, so I was like, oh my god, Sammy, Jammy, it sounds similar. But then I decided to put my last name on it so that I don't know why, because I never thought that I'd be doing what I did now. If, like, in retrospect, I would have just been Sammy Dodger. But, you know, all my social media handles are what they are, so it's kind of weird to just change it now.
No,
yeah,
I know what you mean.
It was literally just because I like Jammy Dodger biscuits, and kind of in a way...
You almost said bitches, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I love Jammy Dodger bitches. Real. I guess like the other part of it is that I do like the musical Oliver, and the Artful Dodger is my favorite character. And then there was also there used to be a YouTuber called Press Hearts to Continue, and her name was Dodger, and I really liked the name Dodger. So like it's like a mix of things, but primarily it's the biscuits.
I still can't get over Jammy bitches.
Yeah, Jammy Dodger bitches. That's what I call my fans.
Oh my god. Can I actually be honest?
Go on.
EmmyCat555 wasn't always my username, and I had an internet presence at one point before I was a cosplayer.
Ooh.
So I, oh my god, you know when you start cringing and you actually want to gag? Okay,
Oh dear.
I started YouTube back in like the heyday of YouTube. I was always vlogging my life. I was in secondary school. I used to get bullied relentlessly for vlogging. Like, you know what I mean? And me looking back, like I was audacious to think I was that interesting. And obviously a lot of like the other kids at school were really like just always ripping into me about it. But the reason why they ripped into me even more was because I was a massive Bleach fan back in the day. And my username, looking back, would probably be a search on the hub, was Rukia XXX Ichigo. So if you search that on YouTube, you'll probably find some really old cringy videos of me, which I'm not going to delete because they're actually really, really sweet to look back on how much I've grown.
I think you've shown me them.
Oh, we sat and cringed together. I think we were going to plan on making a video together where we watch back some of the old content.
Yeah, I think that was one we were going to do, because I look back at like some of my OG stuff back when I was on Musical.ly before it was TikTok, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my god, no, because all the stuff that people used to do on Musical.ly is now what, like, it's millennial core now on TikTok, and I am so painfully aware of everything I post on TikTok now, because I am so terrified that bearing in mind I am on the lower end of millennial, I am barely on the cusp of it, and yet I am so terrified of what a Gen Z thinks of me online.
Oh, you can easily get over that by just going, I don't care.
I try and tell myself that. I do. Somebody said something the other day, and it ended up getting deleted by TikTok, which is even funnier because I wanted to keep it, but somebody roasted me so hard that I genuinely had to go sit down for a little while. What did they say? They were like, I think it was something on the lines of like, you look like you'd make a really good coffee, but I feel like you'd always correct people's pronouns or something. And I don't know why. I was like, no, because it's really true. However, like, hang on a minute, like, don't call me out like that.
I'm so sorry I put that comment up there. I didn't know what I was thinking. I was in a bad mood and all that.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry that TikTok removed it because I was. I wish you could still pin comments. I was going to be like, true. Oh dear.
Oh, anyway, let's. Well, nice to know that we've covered names now, and things like that. Jammy Dodge. So I wrote it down.
You're like, I'm saving this.
I am saving this.
We'll make a shirt of it.
Oh my god, you so should. Anyway,
I'll give Matt a con.
if not stickers. Anyway, that's enough. This is not a brainstorming idea. Right. Anyway, quick welfare check. I start with Amy. Sammy, how are you? How are the last 7 days for you?
Stressful, but I'm getting over the worst of it now, if that makes sense. Like I'm today I am good. I am pretty solid. I've just had like a stressful work week with feeling really unmotivated. But I'm getting to a point, thanks to someone else in this podcast.
You're welcome. You're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Thank you. I'm getting to a point now that like I've realized a bunch of shit that I kind of need to sort out with myself, and today I'm good.
Good. That's good. That's good to hear. Emmy, how are you? Besides the updating of your drivers, especially your webcam we're not using, how are you?
I am all good. Like being completely honest, because I feel like being honest on podcasts is good. I've been okay. I've just been worried about my friends, including Sammy. Like everyone seems to have a really rough start to the year.
It is a common theme with us.
Yeah, like I myself have been okay. I've had like all the stresses I've had have been like really minuscule, but I've just been more worried about, keeping everyone else in like a good mental place and keeping everyone else happy. I've started working out recently, which has been nice. I've been kind of looking after my health a little bit more. I hit 30 last month, so I've just been a little bit more conscious of, what I'm putting into my body, what I'm doing with my body, and just, trying to be healthy, both like mind, body, and soul. So not to turn into too much of a hippie. I've been getting there. I'll be all right.
Far out, dudes.
Radical.
Oh my god, do you want to take
Shot, dude.
Do you want to puff the Mad Dragon?
No, man, that's so bad for you.
Oh, but it's so cool. It makes you so chill.
Nah,
I don't know why I went surfer mode. I don't know.
Yeah, damn, that went somewhere.
Your name's Kyle and you live in Miami now.
Kyle, bruh.
Chad. I'm gonna shred some waves. I'm sure that's what they say.
Oh.
Anyway, what was I going to say? That's good that you're checking on friends and all that, and you're both doing well and things like that.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I'm fine, by the way. Yeah, don't ask me. Don't worry.
Eddie.
Hey, Eddie. I asked you last time I was on your podcast. I was waiting for someone else to do it. Eddie turns around in the last podcast and goes, "No one ever asks me," and I was just like, "Oh, well, you're welcome."
What do you mean?
Eddie, what have you been up to? How's life
wait.
you?
Wait, before we do that, what do you mean the last time you were on it? The last time you were on it,
I wasn't there. Yeah, I know. Okay, look, I've been on the podcast before, right? And it was really fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and we had some really good conversations. But the last time I was supposed to be on the podcast, I might have been asleep.
If only you had a PA or to like.
To be fair, I didn't tell her I was meant to be on a podcast at a certain time, otherwise she would have woke me up.
And to be fair, trying to wake Sammy sometimes is like trying to wake the dead, to a point where I've nearly done a sternum rub on her to make sure she's still alive.
No, literally, there was one time when we were at con, like, Emmy was filming and being like, "Princess, we need to go to Starbucks," and I was just out cold.
Princess, we need to go get coffee to start the day. Wait, no, that's That was the same one where I finally got you. No, you didn't even come to Starbucks with me. I went
No, I
and got
didn't.
to Starbucks without you, and you went, "Oh, I really want a frappuccino." And I went, "Don't worry, babe, I'll get you a frappuccino." And you never fucking drank it.
No, that was a different con. That was when we went to MCM, just me and you. And then this last con, you and Rogue went to go and get coffee, and I was just out cold. And you were like,
think you
I
were
need to ask
still-
her what she wants. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
I think you were still dead to the world by the time we came back.
I was. And then I think I woke up like 20 minutes later and it's like, right, I better get cosplay on, I suppose.
Jeez.
Why are you such a walking disaster?
I could go into it, but I don't want to trauma dump.
I was going to say, I don't have that much time on the podcast.
Yeah, we don't. Like, I feel like I'd need to pay you for a therapy session.
£35 an hour, is that good for you?
Yeah, that's great.
That's really good. What the fuck?
But it's not a full hour, just to say. It's, you know, it's about 45 minutes, so...
Fair. That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
still really
Emmy's like, Eddie, have you never been to therapy? Do you not know how much that shit costs?
£35?
I'm
I
more
don't
like
know.
wondering, yeah, like who's your therapist if they're charging £35 an hour? Like, sign me up. I need a new one.
I'm available for therapy for £35 clearly, because apparently everyone else is expensive.
I feel like your only response would be deal with it.
Yeah.
I feel like I would come to you heart open, like on the table, explaining everything I've got going on, and then you'd go, "Sounds shit. Deal with it. Next."
Okay. No, but my response is sounds like your problem. Next.
You, not an ish me.
£35 please. Next.
PayPal.
Friends and family. Friends and family, please. None of that product merchandise.
I don't want to lose that 58p.
Wait, can you write therapy off on tax? Genuine question. Like,
I mean, if it's
I
job,
don't know.
I mean, if it's about your job, maybe.
I don't know.
What are you
more
not
like-
telling me?
I mean, I told you, I grumble to you all the time whenever you piss me off. No,
Yeah, that's true.
like, I do just want to bring up one little thing. Actually, no, we'll save that for the about. Tell you what, we'll put a bookmark in that because that's the something about life thing that I want to bring up.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write that down. I'll write the word bookmark for life, okay?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Thank you. I'll come back to that point.
Okay,
we'll
good,
wrap
good.
around.
Because I have to start writing things down because I forget to... I would say, oh, I'll come back to that. Oh, yeah, we'll swing around about it. But always forget, so, yeah. Anyway. Bloody hell. Yes, I said that out loud.
Yes, you did.
Anyone who's unfamiliar with the format of the Food and Cosplay Room 101, it's a fictitious room where we put like pet peeves into things. Because it's cosplay related, Comic-Con related, I thought we'll do 4 categories, as always. One about cosplayers or cosplay, one about photography or photos, one about life, and one about food. I don't. I felt like I said cosplayers and cosplay. Cosplayers. I need to give everything a double meaning, but yeah. But you understand. So we'll all take a turn saying what we want to say, and then we'll all vote on each category at a time to say which one of the 3 we think. Oh my god, yours is actually quite compelling. I'll vote for you. Or no, mine was more compelling. Fuck you. I'll vote for myself. So we could have a dead heat here. But hopefully, you know, my guests know that my choices are the top best choice, so they know the drill. So yeah.
Yeah, we've been given the
Alright.
synopsis.
Yeah. What shall we deal with first? Shall we deal with cosplayers first? Cosplay or cosplayers?
Yeah.
Cool.
Them.
Emmy, I'll let you start. What would you like to put into my fictitious FnC Room 101?
Oh, I'm going to start off hot. I'm going to really come in with the tea because, as you know, a lot of my content online is kind of like an elder cosplayer giving advice to younger cosplayers. Like, I am jokingly dubbed the con mum of the group. I try and, you know, guide younger cosplayers even the best I can. It's hot tea, but a lot of the bigger cosplayers you idolize are not always good people. And I think holding people up to a very high standard just because you idolize their work is what doesn't, it definitely feeds into like the likes of cancel culture and everything else like that. And I think the sooner that we realize that cosplayers are just normal people, and yes, they can be obviously have quite a big following, they can be very good at their craft, that doesn't necessarily always make them a good person. And it sometimes makes me laugh when it's like shock horror when somebody, you know, all this like stuff comes out about people, etc. Blah blah. Like, I can sit here and spill so much tea about some really big names from both personal experiences and what I have witnessed. And I won't do that because this isn't a smear campaign. This isn't going to be like, you know, a bitching podcast. But I really want younger people to stop holding some cosplayers to such a high standard when actually they're just like me or you or, you know, anyone else.
So the idolization of large following cosplayers.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I, as someone who knows most of the tea, because me and Emmy have talked about this quite a lot. Yeah, I massively agree that that's a fucking problem.
It's starting to become a really big issue because it's like we're putting a lot of cosplayers who, some of which still live with their mum and dad. Like, they still are, like, you know, in their mid-20s, living with their mum and dad, which is fine. Like, you know, it's completely fine if you're still living with your parents. That's not what I'm ragging on about. But, you know, like, they're these people who are just normal people who have got a very big following, and we're giving them celebrity status, including, like, you know, like, you see some of these cosplayers getting, like, brand deals. They're on every single PR list despite never playing a game. Like, you know, they are getting treated as celebrities. They're getting a lot of stuff handed to them because they work to that point to get that following. Like, they do somewhat deserve it. However, like, people who literally throw their entire like heart into following somebody, and then, you know, it completely ruins their week or their month because it turns out that person is a piece of shit. It's like, well, they don't have PR training. They don't have, like, you know, the same resources that celebrities have to make sure that, like, you know, the stuff that happens in their private life stays private. And also, I'm not being funny, some of these people, it gets to their head. It's like the whole new money concept, isn't it? Sometimes when people who grew up without that kind of money again get into that money, they turn into the most raging asshole because it's all new money to them. It's the same thing with fame. These people, you know, probably are very much like, I want to say all of us in this call, right? We all probably had a very similar growing up in that we were into nerdy things. We probably weren't always the most popular at school because of what we were into. So to then throw them into a position of fame, quite often that ego gets to them, and then they end up doing stuff that they shouldn't do because they just don't know how to act. Like, so many cosplayers, that's another point really, so many cosplayers don't know how to act. Like, people don't know how to act, and it really pisses me off because it's so easy just to be a normal human being. Like, it's so easy to be a decent person, and yet so many people forget that. And I've got another point to the other side of the coin. If I'm not ranting, if you're okay for me to continue.
You go ahead. You keep going.
Because these people find fame and because people want to hate, they will find any reason to cancel a person. I've seen cosplayers cancelled for what's been in private DMs shared between friends. And I want anyone listening to really take a moment and think, like, would you ever openly post some of the DMs that you've sent to somebody who you've considered a close friend? Like, you know, jokes that you've made or like memes that you've shared that you've, you know, gone, oh, that's wrong, but I'm going to giggle at it slightly. Like, if you could confidently share your DMs without going through and censoring anything or editing anything, could you call yourself like the most innocent person in the world? Because I feel there are so many cosplayers out there who get fully, like, their whole career ruined and cancelled because of a private joke made between them and someone that they were at the time close with, but because there's been a fallout, they want to see the downfall of that person because that person has success.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, it's been kind of twisted that at that point it was fine, but later on it's not fine, even though we were all okay with it.
Yeah, it's like, sorry,
that's kind of a double.
Yeah.
That's kind of a double-edged sword type of thing. But you carry on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you know, if you're gonna take issue with subjects that often get people cancelled, I mean, I'm not, when I say this, I'm not referring to if a crime's been committed. Say, for example,
That's different, yeah.
That is completely different. If, like, you know, an assault has taken place or anything like that, obviously trigger warning to anyone listening, like, you know, if then sexual assault, anything like that has happened, that is completely different because that is a crime and that needs to be handled with through the relevant means in terms of, like, you know, going to the authorities and making sure that the community is safe. But you can't sit on a high horse and say this person they said this word, they made a joke about this, they laughed at this meme when you were laughing at the same time. You can't suddenly then change up and go, actually, no, I took offense to this.
Yeah,
You were
that
laughing at the time.
the holier than thou mentality of like people being cancelled. So for, you know, we've got a lot of jokes among our friend group and that like we wouldn't use outside of said friend group because it's not socially appropriate, but within our friend group it's fine because we all know we're joking.
And could I just also, like, just to defend us at that point, a lot of it is self-depreciating because quite often the jokes we make are at our own expense.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to go into that. I promise. Like, no, it's all stuff to do with us that it's okay. But it's a case of like people will suddenly cancel someone for doing that with their own friends when it's a case of like, hang on a minute, don't act like you don't do that as well.
Yeah, literally. And like, it's just, it really rats me off, like how far people are willing to go sometimes with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, what annoys me is in the last year, I have known of creators who are very popular in the space who not deserve that, but they need to be taken down a peg because I know that they have done something abhorrent to other people. And yet I see people getting cancelled about the fact that there was a leaked DM that was between them and another person, a private conversation. That at that point, that shouldn't be anyone's business, especially if it's not illegal or harmful. Like that shouldn't be anyone's business. And yet I feel like the scrutiny and the standards that cosplayers, who again are just normal people, get held to in the public eye is impossible. Like, it's horrible sometimes. And like, what I don't like is the fact that now young people who are just getting into cosplay now feel the need that they have to be the next biggest and best cosplayer. I remember going to MCM back in 2008. I had a Naruto headband that was made out of what was it, Velcro and tinfoil, that my mum made for me in the kitchen the night before. We sharpied on the Hidden Leaf Village symbol onto it, and I had the best time of my life. And whenever I cosplayed, it was just with friends. We didn't care about anything. We just wanted to go to con, go buy some pocky, run around, have fun. And yet I feel like now younger cosplayers don't have that joy. They have to think about what content they're making. They have to think about who they're networking with. They have to think about X, Y, and Z, like making sure they've got the next available cosplay. It's just so unfair that I feel like so many young cosplayers have had like that era of cosplay taken away from them because of everything that you see online and because of the scrutiny that cosplayers get put against.
I'll get my jokes out of the way now. Thank you for taking the hush money for the things that I've done to you, so that you know things that I've done to you still hidden.
Oh, 100%. I bought myself a new Vivienne Westwood with it.
Excellent. I didn't realise we all grew up working in a Chinese takeaway. That's good to know.
Sorry.
Seriously, I've queued these jokes up in my head and I had no chance to like jump.
Thank you for not interrupting me.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to break the seriousness of the conversation. Let me get out now.
Let me get that out. I think I do agree with you that there is a growing trend where the young people are looking up to us and other people in the community. Go, oh my god, I want a piece of that. I see these people doing, like you said, sponsorship deals, franchises, influencers, going to premieres and things like that. And some people want that. Do I say this out loud? Fuck it. So there's one cosplayer I actively avoid because I think I generally look at their life and think this cosplay lifestyle you're choosing to have is damaging your own lifestyle, your own perception of life. And I somewhat think, I don't think the people she's with, sorry, he or she, sorry, I shouldn't say she, fuck, she.
This person that is definitely not female, could be a man, but is probably a female.
Or non-binary. I don't think it's the friends that or the people that she hangs out with is corrupting her. I think it's how she is perceiving everything else and seeing how others are doing things, but they're doing it in a healthy way. I think they are doing it in a very I'm not saying very, it's just a bit negative, and I just look at it and go, no, I do not want to be part of that. I do not want to be caught up in any of your drama or anything like that. I've seen one or two dramas about her, and I just stay away from her. I just don't need that in my life. So yeah, I know what you mean by that, and because of that familiarity to myself about how I view one person, I get what you're saying. You don't want to see the younger generation looking at cosplay going, oh my god, this is my way to get famous, and you think, not really.
No, it's very much a case of like, because I think idolization in any form is kind of shit, to be honest, because I think you are in a way set, like, you can appreciate someone's work and you can be like inspired by them, but I think there's a difference between being inspired by someone and enjoying their work to idolization and obviously parallel relationships, because as a point that you made earlier, Emmy, that people will then be like absolutely heartbroken and devastated when they do something wrong, and I feel like, one, that's also unfair on said creator, said influencer, in cosplay, because they never asked for that. They never asked to break the hearts of hundreds of kids.
Well, as in like in the parasocial sense.
In the parasocial sense.
Yeah. Oh my god, parasocial relationships are the worst.
The other worst. But it's also a case of that so many young kids are having their mental health that deeply affected by someone that they've never even met, and that really scares me sometimes, of like, it is that parasocial relationship element that comes with idolization. At the end of the day, creators are human. Creators have made mistakes. Like, I've made the point. I think something that was really particular for me when I started TikTok, even before I went into the cosplay scene with TikTok, I kind of almost not outed myself, but like basically told the internet about some shitty things that I'd already done, because I didn't want that to suddenly crop up and that happen. I was like, oh cool, I'm getting the moment I started blowing up, I just turned around and went, cool, this is my past. I didn't go into like extreme detail because the internet's not entitled to that.
No.
But I was like, cool, I have not always done the right thing. Like, everyone makes fucking mistakes. Like, I've not always done the right thing. I've had history, but I'm saying it now because I don't want in a couple of months' time someone to like resurface something, and try and cancel me for it. And it wasn't even so much the being cancelled for it. It was that thought that I'd be letting people down, and that's a lot of pressure on a creator.
Yeah.
But then it is also the case of, obviously, you do have the people that, like you said, that they aren't used to the lifestyle that has been thrust upon them, and it does go to their head, and they do, the best way to put it is start acting like an arsehole, and having mad main character syndrome, and thinking that they can just get away with anything, and then they make the mistakes that
the parasocial relationships,
enabling that behavior.
Yeah.
Because they know that it makes them money, when in reality they should be talking about the safety of it and being like, hey, you guys have got to remember this and this. And so many creators don't do that because they don't want to lose parts of their audience. But then they'll go and do something, and then they think they can get away with it, and they think that they can act like a shitty person because they've got this following, and that's just not how it works. Like, you will, even if it doesn't cancel you outright, it does slowly chip away at what you've built.
Like,
and in a way, that's upsetting to see, because especially like, there's been a lot of creators that I've known personally, or even just followed because I liked them, where you almost see them go into this like self-destructive nature, and you just see the chipping away of what actually made them great in the first place.
For sure. But heed of warning to the next big cosplayer that I see absolutely like snuff someone as they walk past for just saying, oh hello, I really like your cosplay. It's on site. It is so on site. I am so tired of seeing these cosplayers who have got these big followings, and it takes 2 seconds just to go, thank you, and keep on walking. You can acknowledge someone, you can thank them, and you can walk off. You don't have to look at them, roll your eyes, and then walk away. And I am looking at you, one particular cosplayer that I'm not going to name for the sake of not starting beef, but I
know
swear to
exactly
God,
who you're talking about.
Emmy, just blink twice. If it's Sammy, just blink twice, okay? If it is, just okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Cool.
Yeah, it's 100% me. 100% me.
I think just to kind of wrap up my point and to give a little bit of advice to any younger cosplayer, anyone who's starting out who, you know, has, if these words have like kind of like, you know, not even hit a nerve, but if they've really kind of, you know, hit you in any way, the best thing you can do is just imagine every cosplayer in the supermarket. Imagine them in joggers and a hoodie. Imagine them in Aldi, decide, you know, feeling up the avocados to see which ones are ripe or which one they might have to leave out on the side a little bit longer. Imagine them, like, you know, picking out toilet paper. Imagine the most mundane things, and you'll soon realize how normal everyone is, and then people actually act right. Trust me. Like, it's one way to really destroy that parasocial likeness. Unless you're BB No Money, I would want to watch him go around the supermarket. I love that man. I'm going against all my words because I idolize that man, and I'm so glad he's getting into the cosplay community.
Well, we'll leave it on that note. Sammy, would you like to go next with your something about cosplay?
I'm happy to go next. So mine kind of like is a little bit of like an umbrella thing, but like it all hits the same point, and it's that when cosplayers aren't educated about the source material, and when I say that, I don't mean so much like they have to know the show or medium inside out back to front, because like I've cosplayed characters that I haven't necessarily like played the game for and things, but what I do mean is that education about things that are not appropriate. So for example, you know, if a character is under a certain age, or if something is specific to a certain kind of culture, that you probably should like not educating yourself on the actual source material and whether it's the right cosplay for you.
Yeah, I think I know. I think can we take a real life example of a TV show that's on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, so for example, I think we discussed this in the last podcast I was actually with you on.
Yes,
Eddie,
yes.
Is with Has Been Hotel and parents allowing their like 16, 15, 14-year-olds to cosplay Angel Dust, who is a porn star.
Can I add another example?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to name someone because I am still annoyed that this happened. Momokun sexualizing Anya from what's the game? Sorry.
From Spy X Family, isn't it?
No. From the spaceship game. Mouthwashing.
Among Us?
Huh?
Among Us?
Among Us.
Mouthwashing, I think it is.
What the?
Anya is the only female on a ship that's obviously doomed to crash, and she is basically introduced as an SA survivor, and Momokun sexualized her, like, and doubled down on it when everyone was like, hey, actually, can you not do this? Because, you know, that is a character who a lot of people resonated with because they can relate. And yet she just doubled down and was like, no, I'm just going to do a video where I'm bouncing my tits in her uniform.
Look, that person is just wanting, just knows that to push the right buttons, to get the right interaction, they don't care. They really do not care.
I think the other thing as well is like, even moving away from like the like age and like sexualization side of it, is also people like certain like pieces of clothing and things like that. So for example, me and Emmy actually had this discussion the other day about when we were in call about La Illusion's Renata, and Em turned around and said, I wouldn't want to do that though, because it would be painting a sugar skull on my face. And I was like, oh, you're totally right, because Em's educated and knows that with Day of the Dead and things like that, that's a really like specific thing that unless you like celebrate it yourself or a part of that community, you shouldn't really be doing. So Em was like, I would alter it so that I wasn't doing that. That's something that people need to be more aware of in terms of like religious aspects or cultural aspects, in terms of being able to do it in a way that is like valid and not almost like a piss take of a culture or
No,
a
absolutely, yeah.
religion. You know, it's the same as like I've seen people wearing kente cloth in cosplay as well, and obviously kente cloth is very specific to the African community. You know, I feel like I can't really speak on that as well because I am white.
What?
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? But it's, you know, it's that's something very specific to them that shouldn't just be used for a cosplay. You know, unless you are a cosplayer that is part of that culture or knows how to respect that culture correctly. It's educating yourself in that aspect so you at least know what these things stand for, so that
Yeah.
you can then explain it to other people as well. But
Okay.
then
So,
yeah, and then the other big part of it is, especially when it comes to minors, not because I've made the mistake. I'll be 100% honest. When I was 14, I cosplayed Ray from High School of the Dead. I should not have been doing that cosplay when I was 14.
but you live and you learn. So
Exactly.
yeah, I can't actually remember what I was about to say. Oh, that's it. So you're okay if someone is aware, understanding, and can convey, explain why they're doing what they're doing without being ignorant about it.
Mm.
You're more or less saying that if you are other than that, that's your issue.
Yeah, the issue is people being uneducated of what these things stand for and what they mean. And also there obviously are certain things that you could, for example, blackface. We don't do that in cosplay. You
Oh,
can't just
God.
turn around and say that because a character is this way that it's part of your costume. No, you cannot just suddenly change your ethnicity to better represent that character.
Let's live in art.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
Um
cough. Mm.
but you can't use that as a like, oh, I'm doing this because of that's like, so there's certain things you just cannot touch, and you need to be educated as to why you cannot touch that thing. That is, you cannot do that, you know. So with
Yeah.
so it's a similar thing with like sexualize, like older cosplay sexualizing characters that are minors. That's not okay either, you know. That things like that don't touch at all. Absolutely fucking not. But when it comes to like things of meat, it's same as like kimonos and things like that. Educate yourself on what the meaning of these things are, so that if people talk to you about it, you can then educate them, and then you're not being ignorant, being like, oh yeah, it's just a piece of clothing. You know, these things are important.
Literally. And like, don't double down. If you're in the wrong, like if somebody approaches you on it and you can't respond, instead of just like doubling down and trying to defend yourself, just be like, hey, can you actually educate me on that?
Yeah.
Like, say, I didn't realize, I apologize, can you like point me in the direction of some sources where I can learn? Like, I want to better myself. And 9 times out of 10 somebody will be like, no, you should do that research yourself. And you know what, you go, yeah, absolutely, I apologize, and then you do that research. Like, just don't double down, because doubling down makes it so much more worse. Like, I know I jokingly mentioned Alice earlier, but you know, she got banned from MCM
Yeah.
and from so many different cosplay competitions because she made the entire skin suit to cosplay Pike. And I'm like, this girl is white. She is blonde and blue-eyed, and she cosplayed Pike, a black character from League of Legends, and she tried to pass it off saying, well, no, it's fine because I didn't paint my skin, I just wore a latex suit. Like, oh, really? Okay, sure, fine. And so many people doubled down with her, and I think it's like it's to me, it's like dog whistling. Like, you might as it's no better than actual blackface. Like, oh yeah, because just because you went through some extra steps to showcase your skills. No, like, if somebody, especially a person of color, I don't mean to be a white knight here, but I'm not being funny, but if a person of color is telling you what you are doing is wrong, you bloody well listen to them, because they know better than anyone else if you are fucked up in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's someone who is like a part of that group of people, whether it's people of color or people of a certain religion. They fucking know. They're the ones that we should be listening to. Like,
Like,
It's
do you
crazy,
get
but
off arguing with them? Like,
yeah,
there is literally no point fighting it. Like, the world still turns if you turn around and go, "My bad." Like,
yeah.
I don't understand why people fight it. It's actually one of my pet peeves. It just people really doubling down and like going, "No, about shut up." Sorry,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But
shut up.
it's also the aspect of also there's so much of it as well, because there's also like Asian fishing as well.
Oh,
You know,
oh my
that's
god.
something that why are you doing that? You don't need to make yourself look Asian when you are white because the character is Asian. That's not how that works.
Oh, it's the people buying like the extra like big black circle lenses, isn't it? And then like they're doing like the
Yeah.
downturned eye makeup and
And the taping of the eyes as well, like people do, instead of like, because obviously you have the fake facelift where you tape the top of your forehead and pull it back. That's fine, but some people have lowered it so it's by where their temples is, so it pulls their eyes up.
I've never understood it. I've never understood that. And like, oh my god, I feel like this could like really deep dive. Like we can start going into like, was it RCTA? Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, that was a whole thing for a little while, wasn't it? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those like things that can really spiral. It's insane. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way, because I think that was going to be the point I was going to make if I didn't bring up what I was bringing up. So I'm really glad that me and
Yeah.
you were kind of on the same moral
Oh,
compass, I think.
absolutely. It's a case of just people need to be educated about things. Just educate yourself, take your time to do the research about, you might love a character. I've got multiple characters that I absolutely adore, but because I don't think it'd be right for me to do that cosplay, I won't touch it. But I always love when I see other people do it, when they are educated and
Yeah.
know that it's a cosplay for them.
I don't know what to say because there's a lot that was said, and I feel very I don't know. I just sat there a lot through that uncomfortable. Like I was going to make a joke about it. Took me an hour to look Chinese. Hours. God, you have no idea how long it takes me to ping back my eyes. You know, dab the skin yellow and all that. Yeah, no, there's a lot there. That's yes, that is absolutely right. So yeah, because I'm now sitting here thinking, shit, my one is really, really mundane, really nothing.
Oh, me and Sammy bring the tea. We bring the tea.
We bring the tea, but I also actually don't think that, because obviously we do know what your point is, as Eddie. Sorry, podcast. I don't think it's mundane. I actually think it's really important.
I think it's super important.
Yeah,
because
I want to move it along, and basically, it's just, and this happens to me quite a few times, and I just hate when people just dive into their question of like, say, "Are you at this con?" Not, but don't go, "Hello, how are you? How's it? I hope you're doing all right." You know, oh, you know, I don't know. You could hear the question, "Oh, are you going to this con? Are you at this con?" But that's not how I hear it in my head. It's, "Are you at this con?" And it really drives me up the fucking wall because I can't remember. I swear I was taught as a young kid at school politeness and you know,
basic manners.
Basic manners, exactly. And just I don't know where that just disappeared to. And it's not an age thing. I get ages from like 1920 in 30s and things. And I'm just going, where did they go? You may argue it's instant messaging, so therefore that type of etiquette, manners doesn't need to be there. I want it to be there. I demand it, if I'm honest. And it really drives me up the wall because there'll be times when in my job, someone will come into, because I work in IT, someone comes to me and tell me their problems, and I'll look at them going, "Hello, yes, I'm doing fine, thank you very much. How are you? Oh, good. Sorry, what was your problem?" You know, just literally just put them in a place of, you know, you can run at me, tell me your problem, but if you just take a few steps just to build a bridge first, anyway. So yeah, that's just my one.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think it takes nothing out of your day just to, when messaging someone something, just to say, "Hi, hope you're doing okay." Like I've experienced it in the sense of like,
sorry.
You know what I'm gonna say. That's why you're laughing.
The one that you screenshot and sent to me.
Yeah, for sure. So I do spicy adult work, as I said to you on the last podcast, Eddie. Like, you know, I would much prefer a conversation to take a hard right turn after someone's asked me, like, hi, how am I doing, rather than getting a message in the inbox just saying
Anal.
Or my favourite one being like, can you fit your whole fist in your, like, just out of nowhere. I'm just like, I much prefer it to be like, hi, hope you're doing all right, love your content, by the way, can you make this? Like, I prefer it to take the hard right turn, because at least they're asking me how my day's going and things like that. But sometimes I will just get messages out of the blue being like, oh, can you do that thing with your and I'm just like, I'm doing great, how are you?
Because do you still have the welcome message that I helped you write when you were setting up the page?
Yes, I do.
So that's even funnier when you said, so basically, just for context, Sammy sent me a screenshot where you saw this really nice welcoming message. It's like an auto message on a certain website. Auto messages get sent when people sub. And literally, I wake up, I open my phone, and Sammy just basically sent me this screenshot being like, I can't deal. And it was actually this really heartfelt message. And then literally just anal, no punctuation, no capital letter, just anal. Not even a question mark. It was like, I can't. It's so funny. And the thing is, like, so with that, like, all you can do is just, you know, I imagine in that situation, Sammy, like, what do you do? Do you tell them
I didn't know how
to
respond. I just ignored it,
I think
because
my response would have been, yes, I do like canals. You know, just
yeah.
literally, or yes, I would like a job as an analyst. Like, so when I worked as a barista back in my day before I started doing all the work I do now, I used to get people coming in and they would literally just go coffee. Bearing in mind, I would then turn around and look up a board where it'd be like, okay, did you want an espresso, double espresso? Would you like an Americano? Would you like a latte? Blah, blah. And if they gave me attitude after I asked them to, like, I'd be like, yeah, good morning. Any particular coffee? If they just went, nah, coffee, you were getting fucking decaf. Fuck you. I could, like, oh, just, like, I would always respect milk choices because of allergies. Same with food. But if you were rude to me, decaf. Like, no, you're not allowed to feel awake for the rest of the day. Fuck you. Like, if you're gonna, like, just bark an order at me, it's not happening. But I moved on to work for the police, and you never have that with them. Imagine calling 999, just like, yeah, help.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, what do you do in that situation? Like, I just don't understand, like, how people can just be so blunt. Like, okay, so what would your ideal example be, Eddie? Like, how would you like to be greeted? Is it literally just as simple as, hey, how have you been?
yeah, literally, how you been? You know, oh, it's been a long time since we've spoken. You know, I
Like,
just
hope that you're well.
Hope you're well. Great photos that we did last time. By the way, are you at this event, or can we take photos? And I won't call them out, but basically, there's this one cosplayer who just literally I can literally go back to the messages, and all it will be is, "Are you at this con?" And that's it. There's nothing.
So they've never asked about you.
No, never asked about me. Nothing in between going, oh, how's things? How are you? You know, things like, and I'm not saying that I do that to all of my friends as well, but I'm very aware that saying, I haven't messaged this person in a while. Maybe I should start with a bit of etiquette by going, I hope you're well. You know, are you going to this Comic-Con? If you are, can we work together? That type of thing, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's like I even said before we started recording, like, because in case it wasn't apparent, Emmy works with me. In case it wasn't apparent through the podcast, every morning, before we start work, we both ask each other how we are. Before Em's like, okay, before Em's like, okay, you need to do this, and this today. She's like, hey, how are you doing? So, okay, admittedly, sometimes she'll be like, what up, slut? How are you doing?
Today, ni hao, fine shite.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But, like, the amount of times, or it's been like, oh, princess, time to wake up, like, things like that. You know, it's not like, obviously me and Emmy have known each other for a while, so that's obviously slightly different. But even doing that is us taking the time to make sure each other's okay before we go into okay, you need to do this today.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like, I've just, out of curiosity, scrolled back on some of our messages, Eddie, and I think, what was it? Just before MegaCon London last year, it was, Eddie, my love, can I please book you in for shots for MegaCon? Like,
Yeah.
like just literally just you got to like gently caress your photographers. You need to love them. And I
not
think
just
there has been another
photographers.
time where I've gone, "Oi,
Yeah.
am I seeing you?" Like, which
But-
is like, okay, go like one or the other, like go full on blunt, like, "Oi, bitch," like,
Yeah.
or be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I love
but
you."
if I heard, am I seeing you? That just means you're not after photos. You just want to see me. That I can
Yes.
accept. But it's the fact that it's like the fact that are you at this con? Like, I want
Yeah.
photos out of you, nothing else. Like, oh, treat me as thank you for treating me not a person. Thank you very much. And that I think that's what grates me. That's what grind my gears.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
oh,
mean, notoriously, I'm ridiculously rude to you, Eddie, because that's just how we are.
that's
and
okay.
even I in messages turn around and go, "Hey, dude, hope you're doing well." Like, if
Yeah.
I'm a notorious massive bitch to Eddie, everyone else can fucking turn around and ask how he is.
Hi, Eddie.
That's
I
okay.
hope you're suffering immensely. Can I get some photos this weekend?
And my response was, that's okay. I hope the shit I did in your suitcase is still there.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Private story. We'll probably talk about that in the podcast
Yeah,
extra.
it was a great time. There's a photo.
Generally, there is.
It's a photo.
Anyway, we've spoken way too much about this subject. We've got 3 more to go through. I don't know how we're going to get through them. I don't know how we're going to vote for this. Do we really want to vote, or?
I think all of us made really valid points, to be honest, and I think they all deserve to go into the room.
Okay,
101.
so we'll call it a dead heat then. All right, good.
Yeah.
Right, because
Excellent.
no way I'm going to touch that with a barge pole. Oh man, right. Let's move on to photography. We'll try to keep it nice and sweet if we can. I think I'll go first with this one.
Okay.
As the resident photographer here. Look, this is a personal thing, very personal thing. Can I have somehow stop buying photography equipment that is getting heavier and heavier, more and more? Can I just
Can I not?
Yeah, can I not? It's like I went to Sweden last weekend, and I was shooting with a couple of models, and one of them said, "Oh, can we do a hotel shoot?" I went, "Yeah, okay then." And I don't really like doing a hotel shoot, but she did want to do outside shoot, and I'm willing to concede. And I thought, okay, do you know what? I'll take my lights with me, which meant I had to change everything I was going to take with me, which was going to be a small bag for my clothes, because I'm only going for 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And I end up taking my my big orange suitcase to Sweden. Now, those who've watched my Raw and Unedited Patreon series will know that and also social media that I posted it, that my suitcase got lost. And
I did see that on your Instagram, actually.
Yes, I did get it back the next day. But the stress of that was quite immense. Now, that's not the reason why I'm triggering this little thing, but I do hate how much I've now built upon my equipment list and just gone, I used to go around with just a camera. Why am I now carrying 2 inflatable lights in the backpack? And by the way, if you send me a video of this guy with 5 giant inflatable lights, don't. 20 people have already done it. I don't need another 20 to send me it. And that's not an excuse to send me. No. I can see one of you 2 doing it, if not both of you. Do not send me it. No. That dirty laughing does not help.
I don't know what you mean. I'm perfectly innocent.
Liar.
Lies.
Lies and
I
slander.
can hear the tapping. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So, and I'm doing another shoot in for my other photography brand in April. And again, I'm taking all this lights with me, and I'm like going, I really do want to have these lights there, but fuck me, it's heavy. I've got a second set of lights, which I'm going to have to work out. Do I want to put both of them in? Do I have to take both cases with me? Or do I have to put everything in one case? Things like that. I just like, why? Why can't I not have a bag that contains everything that's also a TARDIS, that I can just put them all in there and just be... anyway, that's just my issue. That is just it as a photographer. It's a very personal thing.
Just
No, I
equipment
get it.
being really awkward to travel with and being heavy and
Yeah.
not being fun.
Yeah.
So Sammy pays me to carry half a shit.
What do you mean? I occasionally pick up a bag.
I'm pretty sure I have a video somewhere at the end of one of the it was OctoberCon when we stayed at the Novotel. I did a time lapse of me packing the car back up.
And I was just standing.
I hope you pay her well.
I do.
That's all.
What
There
was
was
that
all.
raise you were talking about there as well?
There was a slight hesitation in that. I do.
No, I like to think that I not only pay her to do her job, but just to put up with me as well.
Well, cost of living's going up, so I'm kidding. She does
Emmy,
pay me very well.
I was going to say, bring this up in your performance review. That's all I'll say.
Well, you need to get yourself an Emmy.
Hey, Emmy.
And then Sammy goes, just not my Emmy.
Yeah, I always do that. The amount of times Emmy's messaged me. Bear in mind, I don't mind if Emmy does work for other people, because at the end of the day, if she's making money, she's making money. But like, she'll message me sometimes being like, "Hey, someone's like messaged me about potentially doing this for them. Like, is that okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course it is. Just prioritize me."
But they pay more than you, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm the main character in the situation.
Literally.
Jesus Christ.
But have you actually ever considered getting like a photography assistant?
No, because it costs money. I'm a hobbyist photographer. Where do you think money comes from? Nowhere. The only person that pays me is Sammy.
Yeah, it's true.
And I mean that.
I have said to you.
Wait, before you go into your little thing,
Yes.
just to say, and this is not a dig at anyone, nor am I having a go at any of these cosplayers, but when I because I don't believe holding photos hostage for money, so that's why I send the photos and then go, if you want to donate, you can. Out of, I think, 30 odd people I shot with at Birmingham MCM, guess how many people sent me money?
1.
That's right, 2!
2!
Oh,
That was
no,
more, I guess.
technically 1. The other one was from VeeCon. But still, it's like, oh. Anyway, you were saying.
I was just going to say, I'm planning at some point, obviously, retiring cosplay. I would happily team up
all
with
of
you.
cosplay, you're just going to retire the whole concept of cosplay.
Yeah, no, legit. And I want to follow in your steps. Me and Sammy have always talked about it. If we get too old for cosplay, we're literally just going to start doing videography and photography. So I just don't see why you just don't team up, so you can just use us as pack meals.
You're welcome to carry my stuff. You're not touching my cameras.
100%. No, I wouldn't want to touch the photographer's camera. I get sweaty when someone touches my Sony.
All I'm going to say is you yellow yourself up. That's it. Yellow face up. That's it.
Hang on a minute.
Let's go back to the previous point of what I just made.
Yeah, you just lost your talking privileges.
Yes. So that's me about photography. It's just the weight and how much I carry. I wish it was just a little bit more somehow lighter, more compact. Yes, technology is getting better with things like I've got now inflatable lights I fucking love. So I can just pack it down. It's quite light. But yeah, Anyway, yeah. That's just me. Who started before?
Em started first last
So
time.
Sammy, you can go next.
Okay. I think mine would be people. This goes for both the model and the photographer, if this makes sense. But understanding each other's physical capabilities in terms of when doing a photo shoot. For example, certain models might be limited on what they can do pose wise, whether it's like flexibility, because I've had a couple of times where I've worked with photographers and they've been like, oh, it'd be really cool if you could like stand on one leg and arch your back over and do this, and I'm just like, cool, I can't physically do that. It'd be a really cool shot, but I don't want to injure myself. And it's also the same case with like photographers, in the sense of like sometimes models have turned around and be like, oh, if you like stand on this really precarious thing and then shoot downwards, that would look really cool. It's like, okay, think about your photographer's safety. They could fall and really hurt themselves. You can't, like, if they're comfortable doing it, that's different. Like, then that's on them, kind of thing. However, you shouldn't have the expectation, if they turn around and then say, no, I don't want to injure myself, don't then get the arse, because they're not going to potentially hurt themselves just to get one photo of you. Like, it's all about what each other is comfortable with and physically capable of doing. So that's my pet peeve.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. I definitely do when I say things to people. I say, can you do this?
Yeah, you always ask. That's the big thing. It's like asking and not telling.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, can you can you like fold your body in half? And I'm like, well, no, I can't. Like there's like that really typical anime pose where there's a girl, like, she's like on one leg, she's like fully arched her back, so her butt's by, like, her head's by her butt, and then like she's like pointing finger guns or something like that. It's like that jumping pose, and obviously some people can't bend that far, so like you can only do your best with what you can actually physically do.
Yeah.
And I've had photographers before that have just been like, oh, can you just like bend yourself a bit more? I'm like, no, because I'm gonna break my fucking back. Like, I can only give you, so like I will always do the best pose I can possible, but if it's not working, we move on to something else.
Absolutely, 100%. No, I agree with you, and yeah, I can see, yeah, and I think the one thing I always say to photographers is that before you do a pose, suggest a pose to your model, do the pose yourself. If you can do it, then you can at least the model can go, it is plausible. I can see what they were trying to do. If you're going, oh, that hurts. Oh, okay, that's straining. Right, can't do it. But then the model might go, oh, you trying to do that? I can think I could do that. But no, it was straining my back. It's okay. I'm okay doing it. Are you sure? You can have that dialogue type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. It's just the safety of it. At the end of the day, no one wants to get hurt during a photo shoot. You know, when you work with, like, so for example, with you, Eddie, whenever I've worked with you, if we are doing a difficult pose and bits like that, when you're readjusting, you're always like, okay, relax, just so you're not hurting yourself trying to hold the pose while I'm doing this. Like, doing that is just obviously like common courtesy and things like that. But so many photographers don't do that.
What was it? I can tell you why I say that. Because I remember walking, I was walking through the NEC, someone was in a Spidey suit and they were squatted down. And I know what it feels like with my knees when you squat down. And the photo, like, kind of took a photo, looked at the back of the camera, started changing the lens and all that, whilst the cosplayer still squatting down, bending knees, still in full pose, rather than relaxed squat down. And I'm going, fuck, those knees must be aching and burning and things like that. So that's the reason why.
And I'm lucky because Emmy does a lot of my photos for my other pages. And it's a similar thing with Em. Like, she's always like does that thing where it's like, okay, relax out of the pose while we're like, while I'm sorting myself out. A really good example, when we shot my Tris Marigold shots in a wood near me, we found this like really large tree that had like fallen, and I thought it'd be a really cool idea to like have myself walking along the tree, and was like, yeah, cool, if you're comfortable doing that. But even like getting up onto the tree, because obviously I was in a precarious cosplay, getting up onto the tree, getting down from the tree, every time we were taking a break from it, she would always run over and hold my hand so I had balance. It's things like that.
At one point you like rested on my head, because I think I was the perfect held onto my head. It was like a safety bar.
It was the only time, and to be fair, it's 100% okay because Em is allergic to bees. The only time there was an issue is a bee came by and Em did have to leave for a second, so I was just on this tree. I did go onto my knees, so I had balance, so it was fine. But like, this bee came past, and I was like, Em was like, "Give me a minute."
Well, I then counter to that. Do you remember when we were getting ready to do a photo shoot when you were Zyra and a bee got stuck in your wig? And I was like, if that was me, I'd cry. And I risked getting stung just to get rid of this bee. I mean, the bee just bumbled off.
He did bumble off, but I was very appreciative of you. But it was one of those ones of like, I completely understood in that situation because you're actually allergic to bees.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to just touch back on one of the other things that you mentioned earlier as well. Like, when I shoot people, if they're not, so I have like different stages, I think, when it comes to like posing a model when I shoot, is that I will do the verbal instruction. If they're not quite getting that, I'll do the, okay, can you try and mirror me? And then if they haven't quite got it from like what I'm envisioning, I will then be like, do I have permission to touch you? And I will always, like, if I say, for example, I'm moving a hand, I'll do it via the wrist. And like, you know, with the leg, I'll kind of like, I'll tap. I won't like shove and move something. I'll be like, move this way, move this way. Like, I'll do little taps in like, I don't want to say like non-erogenous zones, but that's basically what they are. I tend to go for really neutral areas of the body. And then I'll be like, okay, hold that pose. And then I always shoot on multiple shutter. So then I have a choice of photos to take because I know how difficult it is posing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Unless you're me, and then I've been like, Em, can you fix my boobs, please? And then you're like, yep.
I've unregied her before.
Yeah, that's a really fun story, actually.
That's
another-
another time.
For another
Yeah.
time, definitely another time. I do want to move it along very quickly.
Yes.
What's your thing about photography or photos that you like to put into one to FnC Room 101?
Right, I want some photographers to learn some fucking balls. I want some photographers to just tell me if I have a double chin. I want a photographer to tell me, like you did, if my bra's hanging out. I am so sick of getting photos back and then seeing that I've got a double chin in the photo or my tits hanging out. Like, it's embarrassing. But whenever I'm shooting someone, if their bra's popping out, I'll walk up to them and really quietly say, hey, darling, just to let you know, the bra's sticking out a bit. Did you want to adjust it? I'll cover them while they adjust it. I'll look away and I'll go, right, okay, you good? You comfy? Awesome. And I'm not afraid to say to someone, hey, babe, that pose that you're doing there, double chins for days. Did you want to just lift your chin slightly? I'll be like, right, look up and to the side. Like, get rid of that double chin. Like, you don't have to look directly at the camera. And it's the same thing with like, what is it up with like photographers shooting from angles that are so unflattering? Like, I just have some balls and say to someone, you know what? That pose didn't work, that angle didn't work, it doesn't look good on you. Because I'm not being funny, I would much rather a photographer say to me there and then, that's not working, than wait the 3 to 4 months for the photos to get edited and then to come into my inbox just for me to go, great, I can use maybe 3 of these photos. It pisses me off to high heaven because I know that there's angles where I've got a double chin, like especially right now, because while I'm dieting and doing exercise, I've got so much water retention in my face. So I look all puffy and my chins are all doubled at the minute. But like, you know, it just takes 2 seconds just to say to someone, hey, that's not working for you. Like, honesty is the best policy. And like, I would never take offense to somebody being like, I'm not feeling that pose on you.
It's being able to be harsh with someone without
Yeah.
being insulting.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I don't think that pose works on you. It's such an easy way to say it. Like, you know what, I'm not feeling this. Like, I think we can do something better here.
yeah. From my point of view for that statement, I think sometimes photographers have this thing in their head that says that it's a one-shot moment. It's not
Yeah.
a one-shot moment, as in one. The moment to shoot with this person is a one take, as in you don't want to ruin it by saying, "Oh, by the way, I think you got double chin," because that could sound very offensive, very
Really?
like, yeah, and like there's times that I've got, "Oh, I really like to work with this person again," but if I mention about their double chin, their boob is hanging out, or I don't know, I don't know, the third ear is popping out. I just do I mention it? Should I mention it? And there has been times where I've looked around when I'm like standing around doing nothing. I look around and I do see certain body parts hanging out, and I'm going, oh, I need to point that out. But I don't want to be the one pointing out as a man.
Yeah, I was going to make the point.
Because-
Do we think there's like a slight difference? Because obviously both of you do photography.
Yeah.
But obviously because you're a woman, is it potentially slightly easier because it's like a girl to girl conversation? Whereas
Yeah.
if Eddie pointed it
Yeah.
out, would there be that mentality of, oh, why are you looking, kind of thing?
Yeah. Because
And that runs through my head.
Yeah, I don't know if you were able to point it out to me, because we'd obviously, I think by the point that my bra was hanging out, we had shot together about 4 times. So I don't know if you were more comfortable to say to me. I think it was last October Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like I've had it before where a photographer has just said to me, hey, did you want to just like, without even looking down at it, they've obviously spotted it in the camera like viewfinder, and they've gone to me, hey, did you want to just hoik your dress up a little bit? And I've gone, oh my god, thank you. Like, because to me as a woman, that is far more of a green flag. Like saying,
no,
hey darling, like
I
like
totally
checking,
agree.
yeah, like, and say for
Really?
example,
Yeah.
so the first time I shot with 86th Floor Cosplay, big shout out to Oosh. Oh my god, Oosh is amazing. I was cosplaying High Noon Evelyn, who is basically a old Wild West style prostitute. She's a succubus, in that particular cosplay. And he could see that, my skirt was quite short and I was wearing a corset, and obviously things could easily quite, fall out. And he said to me before we shot, he was like, is there any part of your cosplay that is a little bit more precarious that you need me just to be slightly more conscious of? And I was like, if you could just let me know, like, if my butt's covered and if my bra's covered. And he went, cool. And at one point we were walking and he went, hey, came up to me, just so it was just me and him. And he went, just be careful when you're walking with your hands on your waist, because that is causing your bra to peek out at the top. And he was like, there's a little that I can do with editing, but if that's something that you really don't want showing, just be careful of that. And he was so careful. And bless him, he asked for permission to adjust my skirt at the back, and I was like, absolutely. I see it so much more of a green flag that somebody is willing to point out, hey, like, I know obviously this character is very promiscuous, however, is there any bit you're not comfortable showing? Can I help with that? Like, you know, what angle is not okay for you? Like, did you need this adjusting? It's so much more of like a, hey, I'm opening up this conversation without being a weirdo. Then I would find it more weird that if literally I got a bunch of photos back and my tit was hanging out, because I know then that the photographer's seen that.
Yeah, I think definitely things like that needs to be sort of pointed out. I think sometimes with my issue is that if I don't know the character,
yeah,
I don't know if what's meant is out of place is out of place. So it's hard for me to go, oh, by the way, that's hanging out, and they're going, that's part of the costume. Oh, okay, shit, you know.
But I think if somebody like catches an attitude of that, then it's like I feel that then that's an issue, them, not an issue.
Yeah.
Because not everyone knows.
Yeah.
And
like
you're just looking out.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I could come up with a few reasonings and things like that. I think basically, unless you know that person, they just don't want to ruin that first impression of working with that person and things like that. And I think we get told as well that by the media, by the cosplay community and all that, appearance is very delicate thing to talk about. So I'd be very conscious even now to like go to by Amy, by the way, you got a triple chin on you, you know, things like that.
I mean, in certain poses, I just need to clarify. Certain poses, like I wouldn't just go up to someone and be like, hey, you got a double chin. Like, no. Say for example, if they get into a pose and I go, no, can you adjust your face like this kind of thing? Like, can you turn your head this way? If I can get them into a more flattering pose, because obviously nobody really fully knows what the end photo is going to look like, especially with focal lengths. Like, I really don't like when people use a 30mm on me for that reason.
It makes me look wide. That's the reason I don't.
Yeah, like me and Sammy both got some photos back after like a con, and all the 50mm photos were fine. The 70mm, everything else was perfect. But then at one point they flipped over to a 30mm. And we both got massive body dysmorphia from it because it went, hang on a minute, we didn't look like that. And it's little things like that. And I think it's just I think it's easier as a cosplayer to be open about that stuff, to be like, hey, I don't think this is going to be as flattering as, like, you know, you think you're really feeling it in that pose, but as the photographer, what I'm seeing is going to be the final product you are going to hate.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, all my friends really appreciate when I redirect them to be like, no, do this.
Massively. It's a case of like a big one is whenever I'm doing like stuff lying down, it's making sure that my face and my neck is in a position where I don't have like a triple chin going on, and always points out for me. If you've got
a soft jawline, everyone has one.
Oh,
it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's
I've got a quadruple chin, you know.
It's not a contest, Eddie.
Yes, it is.
Celebrity.
Oh man. Well, that's absolutely, and yeah.
Like, just be more honest with your models. Like, don't be like straight up roasting them. Like, no, you're shit.
Yeah,
but redirect your models into something you think will be more flattering.
No,
because I've had so many people ask me to do their photos time and time and time again because I've made them look really good. Like, I'll eat my own ass here. Like, sugar glazed donut, I'm fucking sick at cosplay photos. I wish I had more time to do them. And that's why I'm glad you're about, Eddie, because your photos always turn out fucking amazing. But like, I know I do good, and that's why I'm really happy to like really like push myself to go do photography, because I feel confident in that. And I feel like if all because I don't class you as the people I'm talking about to grow balls. I'm talking about the ones who kind of just like sheepishly approach you and go, can I get some photos? And it's always by the trees, and then like they just take 2 or 3 shots and then all of them shit. Like like, no, like, be more interactive, be more personable, be more open with your models, and they will want to return to you.
All right. Interesting thought. I really want to get the life one in before we move to the podcast extra, so because I've got this, I still got it written down, the back bookmark thing.
Yes.
So just to recap, it was me carrying my heavy equipment, all my ever-growing equipment list. Sammy's understanding physical limits of both cosplayers and photographers, and Emmy's just telling models of any misplaced items, stroke body parts.
Yes.
I'll put my vote in first. I actually agree with Sammy because that does bug me a lot. So I'm putting my vote for Sammy.
I would agree. I would agree as well, because I didn't even think about that, but the amount of times I've been put in a really precarious position, and as well, like, just not letting models rest in between, and then don't be asking a photographer to be doing something crazy like that. No, I agree.
But yeah, and I take it, Sammy, you're voting for yours, or would you have gone for something else?
I mean, I like the points of both of yours, but I would have probably still voted for mine.
Clean sweep, right? So that's now
Excellent.
in my food and cosplay room 101. Life. Okay, Emmy, you haven't gone first yet, have you?
No, I haven't gone first yet. Emmy went first on the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sammy. Then yes, Sammy, go first.
Life pet peeve. People being in busy surroundings. This literally happened to me yesterday. So I'm bringing it up. People being in busy surroundings or cramped surroundings, and their face just being in their phone. I was. So yesterday I went to an art fair with my mum. And it was really, really cool. There was a lot of like older artists, and then there was some like new and up and coming artists. Beautiful, beautiful works. And this place was absolutely packed. And there were so many people that instead of appreciating the art that was around them and taking the time to actually enjoy it, just had their face in their phones and were just like walking into other people, walking into the art, walking into like doors and shit like that, because they were so engrossed with what was happening on their cell phone. And then the same thing happened when I was coming back. We were coming through Camden station, and the lifts were out of order, and anyone who's been to Camden station knows if the lifts are out of order, you have to go down like 100 stairs to get to the platforms. Again, groups of people were walking down these stairs, which are precarious stairs as well, not paying attention, on their phones. And then like I kind of had like some small satisfaction in the fact that like one person dropped their phone and it went down all 100 stairs, but it's because they bumped into someone and dropped it. I'm just like, just be more self-aware of your surroundings. You can take 2 minutes to not be on your phone while you're doing something where there's a bunch of other people around. And the thing is,
Yeah.
I very much am the kind of person that obviously I live on the internet because of my job, but even I can take time away from my phone.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to know people who have the audacity to walk with their phone out, especially like around London and stuff at the minute.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah, 100%.
Like I'm too scared to have my phone out.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Emmy, I'm really really wanting to know what the lie thing you have that we've been bookmarking from the beginning of this podcast.
Right, okay. My pet peeve, and this is to anyone listening and anyone who like likes to go on TikTok and comment like a really, or like just on any social media and just comment a really like blasé, just shit comment. Where the fuck has everyone's empathy gone? Genuine question. Like I am searching for it. Like I'm playing Pokemon Go, just wondering where the fuck like all the empathy's gone. I'm searching people like, hey, that outfit doesn't have any pockets in it. Where the fuck do you put all that audacity to go onto someone's like comments? And like the amount, so okay, there's been a lot of TikToks out there at the minute, especially around International Women's Day, especially around different causes. Like, you know, I've seen things around Palestine. I've seen things around like what's been going on in America. I've been seeing so many different political causes. And in the comments, it's just so many people just being like, so, like, or like people just being so blatantly rude. Like, I remember this one woman literally posted a video about how she had to fight tooth and nail against her ex-husband who broke into her house and attempted to unalive like her and her 2 children, and somebody was like, well, she succeeded. What the fuck? Like I can't understand it. And like it's getting, my biggest pet peeve right now is just absolute edgelords on the internet just thinking they're being fucking funny when they're not, because if half of their comments were screenshotted and sent to their employer, or even to, like, if they're kids, to their mum and dads, they'd be grounded and banned from the internet so fucking fast. Like, where'd you get the audacity? Calm down. Who are you? Like, oh, I don't know. It seems to have been a really big problem as of late. And I just remember when there was like a really nice time where comments were just normal, Whereas I had someone come into my comment section the other day and tell me to KYS. So I was like, I'm talking about like a cosplay. Like I wasn't even saying any like big point. It's just somebody decided to come into my comment section and was just like, straight up, end your life. I was like, normal response. So yeah, my biggest pet peeve right now is just the absolute lack of empathy from everyone. And it's not even online. Like the amount of times as well that I've seen like people yelling at shop workers who are clearly overworked and overstressed. And it's like, if you just had a second to go, you know what, they're busy, like I'll leave it. Like it's just, I don't know, people are so quick to be so like full of vitriol, and it really has started to like grind my gears to a point where like I just sometimes I want to take a break. And that's why I was joking earlier, being like, can I tax expense therapy? Because I spend my life on the internet because it's where my job is. But good lord, like it is turning into a miserable place. Like I'm off X now. I'm off Elon's platform because that was turning into a miserable place, and now TikTok's like slowly following suit. Like the stuff that you see posted on Instagram half the time on Reels and in comments is awful. So yeah, my biggest pet peeve is just people like internet trolls and just lack of empathy from people. It's really winding me up.
No, I get that. I'm just going to jump in now, and I'll cover both. As much as I work in IT, I love technology and all that. Sammy, I do agree with you that people need to somehow just pop their head up a little bit, just put the phone away. Generally, you're right. They just need to just smell the world. And again, I think I like to think that I'm at the age where I could just put my phone away. I do worry about the younger generation. Although, look, saying that, my nephew has a better work-life balance, a phone life balance. My sister's who was obviously raising my nephew, I think really does manage the amount of time he's on the phone or front of the TV. So
No.
he doesn't seem to be too dependent on it and things like that. So that I think that's always good. Emmy, right? So
Hello.
my solution to all of this, and I'm really truly when I mean this, is that people need to watch Star Trek more.
Yes, 100%.
Star Trek builds a world about how everyone's respecting each other, kind to each other, and all that. And for some reason, like, if you follow the timeline of Star Trek, we should have been in World War III right now.
Literally.
And we literally at time look like we are going to World War III. We just do not care about each other. It really does show how sometimes social media is so bad. So you're talking about the lack of empathy online. It's because there's just no accountability. Well, there doesn't seem to be accountability online.
No.
And with the tech giants now really stepping away from like fact checking, DEI, and all that. And I know DEI doesn't affect UK at all, but it's something that's we see around the world. And oh my god, yeah.
It's the fact it's bleeding out into real life. That's what's annoying me. Like I feel like so many people think, oh, I can behave like that in the comment section somewhere, that they then start doing it in real life. And it's like, I'm more just worried for them. Like you're going to land yourself in trouble. And like, I feel like it's actually a really deep subject to get into, but that's the thing. It's just pissing me off.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even getting upset by it. I'm just like, I open up some of the comment sections and I'm like, oh, shut up. Like,
yeah,
like, nice. Just be nice to people.
Really is. No, absolutely. I wanted this to be a quick round, so I'm going to put my one in, and mine, yeah, mine's so my.
I know what it is as well.
So do I.
Fuck World War III. Eddie, what's your issue? Because I 100% agree.
Dust. What the fuck is... Right, so I'm living in my flat alone, right? And I do not understand where dust comes from. I truly do not understand.
It's you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's all your little dead skin cells.
But it looks like lint. How does that come off me?
You flaky little bitch.
Honestly, I just do not understand how often I try to like hoover the floor, clean the kitchen, and all. I go, where the fuck? It's like my bathroom got dust everywhere. I'm going, the door's shut, the window's shut. Where does it come from? I do not understand.
Literally, like you clean your bathroom, you have a shower, and the next thing you know, you look at all the surfaces, and it's like, where the fuck? Right, I'm gonna get you on something. Product placement. like I think it's called like Dust Buddy or Dust Buster. It's one of the sponges.
Oh
by
yes, no,
Sponge Daddy.
I've seen that. Yeah,
They slap. They're so good.
Oh,
They're so good.
Right, I think it's in my Amazon basketball. I'll try to purchase that soon.
Oh no, seriously. Okay, yeah, no, fuck my point. I'm already voting yes on dust. Fuck dust.
I
Like,
would
what do you
agree.
mean I have to take my PC apart to dust it out.
Oh
and I have to
god,
be so
that's
careful
the
about it because it's
worst.
static.
Yeah, that's the worst. Like you have to go and specifically get a can of compressed air to clear your PC out, and it's all dusty. And it's like, how did this all get in there?
How does it get in there?
Why are people
Wait.
so up arses about dust? Okay, like everyone gets it. Can we just accept that
Yes!
it's okay for everything to be a little bit dusty? Like, why is society telling me I've got to dust my bookshelf once a month?
My
Fuck
mum
off.
gets on my nerves about that. She goes, "Oh, your room's like when we used to live together." She goes, "Oh, your room's covered in dust." I go, yeah, but I'm in here. I don't care.
I like my dust.
It's
making my
fine.
allergies not appear.
I think my favourite thing that, well, not I guess in like as a jokey favourite thing is when someone will come in and be like, "When was the last time you dusted this?" And you're like, "Yesterday," and they're like, "I don't think so." I'm like, "It accumulated over yesterday. Why don't you believe me?"
Exactly. Like when I just so on the top of my obviously got that flat surface on the toilet, and I just wipe it off, going right, because and like 2 days later, I'm like going, how is there already a mile of thickness of dust? How? Maybe not a mile, but still, just like how? I do not understand.
Okay, I'm gonna be really gross. The only reason I dust is whenever my friend Jamie comes to stay, because mine and Sammy's friend Jamie, because he, bless him,
No,
has
I don't
got
know,
quite
Jamie,
a
fuck
bad
that
dust
bitch.
allergy. He's got quite a bad dust allergy. Like whenever he goes anywhere dusty, he always ends up like getting really like
He does,
sneezy. Bless
yeah.
him. So whenever he stays, I will make the effort to dust everywhere. But other than that, like I maybe only dust like the areas that are important. So the bathroom, the bedroom, and my desk. That's it.
My calyx, I just looked at it and there's some dust. I'm like, but I'm the only one here seeing it. Why do I care? I do not understand. Oh my god. Anyway, that's my one. So yeah.
Yeah, fuck dust. I vote dust.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that, like, you know, our youth being consumed by technology and World War III breaking out isn't as important as the fact of where the fuck does dust come from.
I know when they say that cockroaches will survive
Dust.
nuclear.
Dust
will.
will.
Dust will.
Next time somebody hate comments on one of my TikToks like, kill yourself, I'm just going to turn around and be like, yeah, well, I've got dusting to do, so no. You know what? I'm actually just going to start roasting people. If next time someone roasts me, I'm going to be like, how dusty is your bedroom right now? You know that Kallax that everyone has because it is the best storage solution that IKEA has ever come up with? How dusty is yours?
Yeah.
Come back to me. You can't say shit. You got dust on your Kallax. Fuck off. Like,
And there's a never-ending job. It'll always be dusty.
You'll always need to dust it.
Oh my god.
the indomitable human spirit where people have to dust.
Oh my god. Oh my
Life
god.
is a circle of pain. It is wake up, dust, go to sleep.
It really is. Really is.
Eat, breathe, dust, sleep.
I don't. Yeah. Sometimes my meal, I don't know if it's food or dust. Anyway.
Yeah.
And it's always the parents that bring it up. Like, okay, no, that's it. As the millennial generation, we're going, fuck dust, let it happen. I don't care anymore.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, right. Well, since we've done that one quickly, thank you. But obviously, please be nice to other people. Show some empathy. And if you're on your phone in a public area, fucking put it away. Just...
If not, it's going to get yoinked.
Really does, really does. Right. We've been talking for an hour and a half. I'm hoping that my guests will still want to do a podcast extra. So let's wrap up the podcast. Alphabetical order. Emmy, where can they find you on the social medias?
I am EmmyCat555 on everything apart from TikTok. Fuck whoever took EmmyCat555 on TikTok. I sincerely hope your socks get wet. I'm just EmmyCat5 on now.
Wet socks is like the worst thing. I'm not even joking.
They have like 2 followers, I'm pretty sure. They're probably really nice. It's just really annoying because I've messaged them so many times, like, please.
Just message them about, like, ask them if their Kallax is dusty, then they have to give you that username.
Yeah, but I'm EmmyCat555 on everything, but just the 15 on TikTok.
Fantastic. And Jammy
Jammy Dodger Bitches.
Yeah, that's literally about to go there, but
Yeah.
my tongue got in the way. Where can they find you?
I am Sammy Dodger Mines on everything.
even though Twitter says it's dodgy
I-
101.
Don't use Twitter anymore unless it's to promote other things.
Yeah, no, I've archived that one, so
Same.
yeah. Anyway, if people need to find me on the social medias, if you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, that's where you find all my social media links. If you go to foodandcosplay.org, generally find cosplay photos, podcast. That's my computer loading up. What else I was going to say? If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, that's where you'll find old podcasts that I've recorded with Sammy and other guests with other topics, other subjects. If you go to patreon.com/foodandcosplay, that's where you'll hear the remaining stuff some about food we're going to talk about. And hopefully, if not, just be me talking. And if they are joining us, and we might just have a general chit chat anyway. But so join us anyway. But if you're not, that's fine. It's no problem. So if you're not joining us, we'd like to say thank you for joining us. Sammy and Emmy, I hope you both enjoyed your time here.
Yeah.
I truly have. It's always a laugh whenever we talk to you, Eddie.
And yes, thank you. And it's good for Sammy to actually be at one of these.
Okay, all right, let it fucking go.
It's only because I was here.
Eddie, you called.
Sorry, I don't know that there's a bit of a silence cap that just got cut out. Oh well, no one's going to hear that. So
That's what you sound like.
and on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and they're going to say goodbye. So bangers.
Bye.
Whoa, that's sexual.
Yeah, I know. It kind of came out. It fell out. Wrong work.
Keeping that.